Hello and welcome back to Little Blessings. I'm Karen and today I will be showing how to make a set of beautiful and easy slimline cards for Mother's Day. And I'll be using Simon Says Stamp and Die's Slimline Florals. The Hey Mama Dyed and Shadows from Simon Says Stamp. Sentiment Strips Mother's Day also from Simon Says Stamp. And Nested Rectangle Dies from Picket Fence Studios. So let's start. I'm using my original Misty to stamp these images, and I'm adding anti-static powder to this piece of white cardstock. Then I'm applying Versamark embossing ink to my stamps, and I'm pressing firmly into my cardstock. Next, I will be adding Wow Metallic Gold embossing powder. This is the super fine embossing powder that I always use. And with this tool, I'm helping myself to get a good coverage on this panel. And now I will heat emboss these images using my Wow Dual Heat tool. So now that I finished heat embossing these flowers, I will start coloring and I will be using Copic markers. I will start with the largest leaves on this image, and the Copic combination that I'm using is YG17, YG03, and YG21. For these leaves, I started coloring with my darkest marker, which is YG17. Then I will be adding YG03 to blend those two colors. And finally, my last color will be YG21. That is my lightest color from this Copic combination. And this color blends really well with YG03 and YG17. And for this specifically image, my coloring process is going from darkest to lightest. These are my favorite Copic markers to color leaves, trees, and bushes. So now I will speed up a little bit this video so you can see how I finished coloring these leaves. Next, I have these rounded leaves and I'm using a darker green color combination like G28 and G24. Again, here I'm going from darkest to lightest and doing a basic blending. I'll let you watch now how I color these rounded leaves and I'll be back soon. And here you have a closer look of the leaves. So for the smallest leaves, I'm not doing any blending. I'm just coloring them with G09. Let's color the flowers now, and my choice of Copic markers for these flowers is R85, R83, and R81. Right here I started adding my medium color, which is R83. I will be adding R85, my darkest color, and later I will be back to my medium R83. Then I will be blending those colors just a little bit. Finally, I have R81, which is my lightest color, and I will be blending R83 and R85. Super easy, right? And as you can see, I don't always start coloring from darkest to lightest or from lightest to darkest. It really depends on how the image is and how much room I have to add color and blend. So I recommend you to have fun and add color with the way that you feel more comfortable with. I will speed up this part of the video and you will see how I finished coloring these flowers. Also, I apply Y15 Copic marker to the center of these flowers and look how beautiful they look. On the following flowers, I will be using BV11 and BV13. Because these flowers are very small, I will be adding the lightest color first, which is BV11, and then BV13 to create a bit of a shadow. In this case, I won't be blending because there's not much room to do it. Now you can see how easy this part of coloring is, and I'll be back in a moment. Let's jump to the next flowers, and my Copic combination is going to be Y38, Y19, Y15 and Y11. This time I'm going from darkest to lightest, and I'm doing this just because I have more room to blend more colors. But just like I said, you can start from lightest to darkest if you prefer. I don't have one way to add color every time, so I just go with what best works for me on each card or image. So don't complicate yourself and just enjoy the process of coloring. Now please keep watching and I'll be back in a heartbeat. Okay, now the center of these flowers that look like sunflowers, I guess, were colored with YR24 and YR21. Again, a very basic blending, and it looks very nice. I'm not good at remembering the names of flowers. I love them, but I tend to forget their names. So for the last flowers, I have no idea which ones they are, but I'm using BG49, BG13, and BG11 as my choice of Copic markers. I started coloring these flowers from darkest to lightest, just like you see, and these colors blend beautifully. Really not much to do here, but a basic blending, and they look absolutely beautiful. So enjoy this process, and shortly I'll be back with you. Now I have finished coloring, and I did color several panels to have enough images for all my cards. I have here the matching dies, and I will be die cutting them all with my Gemini Junior. And here I have them ready now, so I will be adding a white die cut to the back of each floral frame, so they won't be flimsy and will have more dimension. Also, I die cut several Hey Mama word dies and shadows from Simon Says stamp using gold mirror cardstock. For my card bases, I die cut panels of different colors using the nested rectangles die from Picket Fence Studios. I love the stitching border of these dies, and by the way, all these cardstocks are from different card kits from Simon Says stamp. Well, now let's begin assembling the first card, and now I'm adding glue to this pink card base that will be attached to a white folded slimline note, just like you see me doing. Let's adhere one of the floral frames on top using more glue and carefully make sure it is centered. Then I'm adding the Hey Mama die cuts inside the floral frame. And for my sentiment, I'm using the Mother's Day sentiment strips from Simon Says stamp. And this one says, Happy Mother's Day. Finally, I'm attaching a few iridescent sequins around, and this first card is finished. So now let's jump to the second card. And for this one, I'll be using two floral frames on top of this Nina Desert Storm card base. For this card, I will be using the Mama word die cut in the middle of those two panels. The sentiment strip that I'm using here says, So thankful for the mother God gave me in you. And this card is definitely going for my lovely and wonderful mom. As a final touch, I'm adding some pearls around using glue, and this second card is now finished. Now it's time for card number 3, and I'm using here a dark pink panel as my card base. Again, here I added 2 floral frames, the mama die cut and the sentiment strip, along with some embellishments. It's like mass producing. It's very easy and simple. I'm just changing the colors of the card bases, the embellishment, and they look different. But actually, they all follow the same steps. And for the last card, I use a dark teal color of cardstock, and I love how the flowers pop up from the background. So here I'm using a sprinkle glitter embellishment from Doodlebug's design. And now my last card is finally done. Okay, so in this video you can see how many looks you can create just by changing colors and embellishments. I hope you like them all and have a wonderful and fabulous Mother's Day. Thank you for stopping by and see you next time.